Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, Sin and Sacrifice, the recent DLC produced by Blacklab and Slitherine Games. Playable on the PlayStation, the Xbox and the PC, available from GOG and Steam. This mission is Mission 7 and it's Protect the Royal Family. What are we going to see here? Well, it's a protection thing. A shuttle's going to jump into the system. We're going to have to protect it using the might of the Colonial Fleet from those nasty Cylons who are out there to do a bit of mischief. Okay, so let's get cracking then. So, we've got our fleet in position. We're loading up the mission. Again, standard layout. I've got some Minotaurs. I've got a Jupiter-class Battlestar, an Artemis, a Minerva, that sort of thing. But I think it's all about the guns in this mission. All about the guns. So this one's called Political Capital. And it's again, you know, a case of protect that royal family. Political capital and the Vigon system. Vigon always been a big supporter of Colonial Fleet, apparently, according to the lore. We're going to jump in. As you can see on the screen, it's a graveyard of ships. This graveyard of ships, you know, looks very impressive. There's Cylon ships there, or a few Cylon ships there, you know, as Desolation. But mostly colonial ones. So you've got Atlas class, you've got Minotaurs, all the stuff that you know is going to cause you a little bit of grief. No one goes to the extent or the trouble in this game to show you a backdrop like that without it giving you some sort of mischief. So let's get on and reposition our ships. Get some battle stars placed. Thank you very much. Okay, there's our Minotaur. Adamant. Okay, right, we're in position. The plan is fly down there. Now, tactics on this. I suggest holding back and let the Cylons coming to you. Now, we know the Cylons are going to turn out, right? They go, oh, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Well, look, right? It's called Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. There's going to be Cylons. The Cylons are going to jump in somewhere around here. I suggest hanging back, protect the transport, shoot all the Cylons, job done. There's nothing to say that we have to go from one end of the map to the other, as far as I can see.
Prepared to jump in 3.
Okay, let's get a bit of story.
1. Jump complete. I have a positive identification on the escort objective.
I thank you again, Lucinda. You understand how important my family's safety is to me.
Vigon has been a close and loyal ally of Colonial Fleet, Your Highness. We will see them safely to Erelon.
So old Prince Stefan, a friend of Lucinda Cain's, has jumped into system. Brilliant. And what a place to jump into. A ship's graveyard. So he's got to get in range, we've got to protect him and defend ourselves against any and all Cylon threats. So I'm going to start by deploying some Vipers. The Vipers are going to protect that shuttle, and then I'm going to put the rest of the Viper force on protection of the fleet with a fighter screen, effectively. So if anyone turns up, or if anything untowards happens, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have enough firepower to protect my capital ships. Now this loader is pretty.
Launching alert Viper. It's
pretty missile heavy, I have to say, and I'm okay with that. You know, long range missile launch systems, guided missiles. Not a fan of the torpedoes. You've really got to sort of line those things up. Even though you get more torpedoes to a battery, guided missiles, for me, that's where it's at. And a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me, but I think, you know, guided missiles are pretty good. And in extreme circumstances, use a nuke. Okay, so we're spinning through its turns. We're on a bit of a go slow. The shuttle's heading directly towards us. Now it can be a little bit difficult to see, so I've highlighted it with the arrow on the screen. It's in that sort of general vicinity, you can see it. Yeah, assigning a group of Vipers to protect that. Getting our defense screen in place. Moving nice and slow. Trying to suss out, you know, find out exactly how bad things are going to get in this mission. The levels have been getting progressively harder in the campaign, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I'm a full fan of there being a challenge, especially if the game is a strategy game. Sometimes I find games can be too easy. So here we go, we're moving. All these ships either side.
Ships gathered in the one place. It feels disrespectful to be poking around, like playing in a cemetery.
Sinan would have loved it. I'm not sure why you would use it as an evacuation point for your royal figureheads, though.
Convenience. Most people would have forgotten it even exists. And those that remember are of a generation that would not bother the dead, even to find a living.
So, a bit more story. Cain getting berated by the other senior officer for putting her own personal connections in front of the main populace. Cain then interjecting, if it wasn't for Prince Stefan, there wouldn't be a Colonial Fleet.
On it, Commander.
Moving these ships slightly, very slowly. Getting someone out of the way so they don't collide. I've got a collision there with the Minotaur and that Battlestar. There's got to be elevation is the key here. Okay, so we've done that. Move it a bit out the way.
Whoa. Hostile activity coming from inside
And
the graveyard.
look what's happened.
I don't see any new Dratus marks.
Frack, it's the dead ships. Cylons are hacking the wreckages and taking remote control of their systems.
Send out fighter screens. Protect the Vigon transport at all costs.
So those sneaky Cylons have managed to hack the derelict ships, which happen to be armed,
On it, Commander.
let's say, and they're derelict, in a sort of a ship's graveyard, hack those and attack our fleet. Now we knew something was going to happen, right? And with all those ships either side, you didn't have to be a genius to put two and two together and have the Cylons or someone do something with them, or they would just have Cylons on them. They've been hacked, and now you've got to take out those ships, and then no doubt we'll get a visit from the Cylons. So, I say we've got our Viper screen in place, we've got our ships in place, some heavy hitters. We're going to get the guns out, target ship by ship, take them out on either side, but ensuring we've got a Viper screen around that Colonial shuttle. There you go. There's some of the new Colonial, new Colonial Heracles ships over there with their flak screen. No missiles going to get through there, or if they do, very few missiles are going to get through there. What a ship. But we've taken that out anyway. Here come the Cylons.
And there's the Cylons. Dratus contacts, hostile and closing distance.
So there you go. So we've got old ships on either side and Cylons in the middle. But there's nothing to say, nothing is said in this level that you have to go up there and get them. You can hang around by the Daedalus if you want to, and have the added bonus of its weapons covering you as well. But that doesn't leave you an awful lot of space if any missiles come in. All of a sudden you could find yourself overrun. I mean, it looks like there's an awful lot of ships, but only a few of these ships on either side in the old ship's graveyard actually spin up and come after you. It is a threat, though, because there's some of them are heavy ships. And when I say heavy ships, ships that can take a hell of a lot of a beating. However, we have got some big Cylon ships at the back. There's definitely going to be a base star or two up there. So it might be worthwhile packing some heavy munitions to ensure that we can get through this mission. So, for those of you who were thinking, well, why did we go stealing Cylon ships? Why did we go and see Persephone, the other Cylon general? Well, you're not going to find out in this one, but you will find out in the next one. Things start to accelerate now as well in the Battlestar Galactica Deadlock Sin and Sacrifice story.
On it, Commander.
You know, you gotta take your time up to like mission 5, but then all of a sudden, you know, the story escalates and you want to keep going, oh, just one more mission, which is great, which means it's great storytelling and an engaging game and an engaging concept. I mean, you said before, we can really tell that Blacklab Games really care about the license. Here's this guy saying it's a dereliction of duty.
Months ago without Stefan. Colonial Fleet would have been just one more abortive attempt between bickering children.
Can you not hear yourself? You bemoan the politics of your job, but here you are, playing right into them. You've never lifted your head high enough to see how deep in the mire you've sunk.
Stand down now, Admiral. I have been fighting this war from every side. Against the Cylons, against the Quorum, against headhunters like you. I am the only one holding this rotted dysfunction together, and I will not argue my worth in front of you or my crew. You do not have my job, Jubal. You were too busy throwing yourself into enemy hands for no good damn reason. I had to pick up the pieces left over from Pycon. My people had to save you and your Battlestar. You are reckless, you are short-sighted, and you are not better than me. Now get off my deck.
So there you have it. There's been a bit of a showdown in front of all the officers on the Battlestars, and Cain has thrown the other guy off her deck, saying I had to go and rescue you and your Battlestar. Well, nice, isn't it? So, too many cooks on that bridge, I think. So we've got some flak going on, we've got some missiles firing off at some of the other ships as well, just trying to engage and whittle down the threat. But again, in the meantime, we're still protecting that shuttle.
Missiles incoming!
More ships being hacked and coming online, but we are doing a good job at taking them out, especially the bottom sides. The Minotaur, what a ship. I love that ship. That's a big old lump of guns, that is. I want all those guns, and I want it all on that ship there, and we're going to fly it around, and we're just going to lash and lash the plating. No missiles on the Minotaur. Then I normally have an Adamant or Artemis Battlestar then in reserve to sort of lay that missile damage down as well as giving it some of its turrets a bit of a pasting as well. So far, we're progressing.
Yes, sir.
And as for damage, we're doing pretty good. The Viper screen is doing a good job of keeping some of the missiles away. It's just not going to be a mission where we're not going to lose anything. But, you know, what you call losses. You're there to save a royal family. The royal family of Vigon. So again, lots of positioning before we go for the end of the screen.
On it, Commander.
Okay. We should be in pretty good shape. Just doing a bit of elevation here and there. We're not ready for any missiles yet. This mission, tricky. A tricky old mission to play. Not as straightforward as you think, as in fly down there, engage the Cylons. You have got the fire coming from either side. This is causing a little bit of a problem because your focus fire, you're going to have to split your fleet to focus your fire on a particular target. All the meantime, they're firing missiles, they're firing guns, and the Cylons have got their raiders. So to pick off and clear the way without losing too many ships is difficult.
So say we all.
Okay, we're about halfway through, I think. We're taking those Cylons, so Cylon captured ships out. I think once we've done that, then we can start to really engage in anger the new Cylon threat. And you just know that Cylon at the top is a base star. I just know it is. It's hanging back, it's firing missiles. You just know that's going to be a base star all day long. Okay, so more adjustments to the headings of the ships. Again, I've got to try and bring those other ships that have gone off to the right flank back into the fold. Any mines that have been placed, got to adjust those as well. That Battlestar is on its last legs. You know, missiles are coming in. More captured ships gone. That Battlestar is now gone, but we've still got its squadrons in the air. Time to get the turrets focusing fire on ships so we can start engaging the Cylons before we have too many losses and we lose the level. And that's something I don't want to do. I only want to lose perhaps maximum 2 ships here. But the way things are going and the amount of hardware that's being put into the map, you know, it seems to be very nearly unsurmountable odds. I've got a nuke attached to that one Adamant. I'm hanging on there. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to use it before the Cylons can take that out. Lots of decommissioned Atlases. Of course, the Atlas is the aircraft carrier or fighter carrier group thing. It's a support ship. Very tough. No missiles there. Lots of turrets, though. A hard ship to take down. It can really take a huge pounding.
Understood. Missiles incoming. Adamant is taking damage.
More missiles from the as yet undisclosed Cylon vessel coming towards us. Fighter screen is taking them down. I can't stress enough how important the fighter screen attached to your battle stars is for taking out missiles. Now, they're not going to get them all. Some are going to get past. And you've got your flak cannons for that if your fighter screen is far enough away. However, having those Vipers attached to a defensive screen, I think, pays dividends, especially in this game, and is a really good tactic. It's not all about attacking, it's not all about launching Vipers and sticking it to the Cylon. You've got to have a little bit of defense there as well, and you've got to plan your tactics. Let's continue now, moving towards the Cylons. That base star, what we think is a base star, still hasn't revealed itself. Something's launched a squadron.
IFF confirms unit is hostile.
There, it was indeed a base star. It's just come into range now. Time to lay it on, I suppose. And the Adamant that had the nuclear warhead on it that was going to save for such an occasion has been destroyed. Well, that's just typical, isn't it? Absolutely typical. But on the plus side, we've only so far lost 2 ships, and we've still got the shuttle. So all of this has not been in vain. So far I've found this campaign of Sin and Sacrifice from Battlestar Galactica Deadlock very entertaining. I'm not just saying that because I had it free. I would have bought this anyway. I would have paid good money for it, and I would have been happy. And when I say happy, really happy. Big fan of the series, big fan of the franchise. I like the way things are done within the game. Like I've said before, they really do care. Well, it seems they really do care about the license, the franchise, and the fans, with how they're constantly tweaking things, especially with the veteran series, which I think is a great addition here and does actually give you a bit of an edge against your opponent. Things that I think could be done a little bit better. I think perhaps it could move just a little bit quicker. It does seem a little bit slow, and that might put some people off, but it's striking that fine balance. Personally, I think it's okay. But showing it to other people, they're going, oh, it's a little bit slow, isn't it? Well, yes, it is, but it's a thinking game as well. And you are then rewarded, if you're successful, with a very good cinematic at the end. The cinematic being, well, you know, that's the cherry on top of the cake to see how things actually performed in real life and realised in the 3D engine. The additions of the new ships, well, you don't really start seeing them. You see them here slightly. They're not as prevalent as what you thought they would be. Was there any point? I mean, it's a quick win putting new ships in. I understand. And, you know, the ships are good, especially the Colonial one. The Cylon one, well, you know, I've shot a few. Didn't take too much damage. The radio chatter, that's good. The jukebox method, where you can select which tune you can play, nah, I can take or leave that, to be perfectly honest with you. Radio chatter, yeah, adds a little bit of depth. Veterancy, very good. Ships, yeah, you know, okay, great, yes, brilliant, sir. Thank you very much. What is Season 2 going to bring us? That's what we want to know, and it'd be very interesting to keep an eye on the forums to see what Blacklab Games has in store for us for Season 2. I, myself, cannot wait. So we're starting to lay down fire against that base star now. Remaining Revenant. Couple of ships knocking around, but I think we can pretty much take those out. We've got our missiles. Try and get our turrets focused as well. Not only on the Revenant, but try and spit it up onto the base star.
Artemis is taking damage.
That base star being a big old pain, but we are whittling down its armour. It's about to go in a spectacular explosion as our ships circle it. There it goes, and there goes the Revenant as well. Excellent stuff. Now it's a case of mopping up with that Talon. And all that hardware I've got in the system shouldn't take too long, not only to start repairing the ships that have obviously incurred a bit of damage and quite an onslaught of a fight, to be perfectly honest with you, but also, you know, understood. It's been hard work. It's been 20 minutes of hard work guessing which way, you know, those Cylons and those other ships that have been captured and repurposed by the Cylons, which way they're going to go. And it's all absorbing, and the time just seems to fly past. And that's what I think you want from a game. That's what you want from entertainment. You want to be absorbed. You want to lose yourself in the narrative of the game. And this game does a really good job of that. Okay, so
Squadron target is confirmed.
All guns on the remaining ship.
Artemis is taking damage.
We've lost 3 ships of our fleet so far. Let's hope there's not going to be a 4th, but you never know. Few stragglers remaining.
Yes, Commander.
I think some missiles that we've got in reserve can finish those off without too much hassle, without having to rely on too many guns. Just going to adjust the flight path of the Colonial shuttle. That's the whole purpose of Mission 7 of this campaign. No other ships have sprung to life, which is good. That Talon's taking a pasting. Missiles are coming in. Probably one more round. Just making sure we don't crash into anything. That would be embarrassing after all of that. So you never know if anything else is going to jump into system, do you? You know, you think you're finished, you spent all your missiles. Ah, great. And in comes a base star with another flight group. This Talon's going to be toast this round. Great stuff. And that is it. We are now going to have a little bit of story, and then we're going to watch the replay. And we'll come back after the replay to discuss a few things.
Serious thanks to Admiral Cain. Vigon will find a way to repay this debt somehow.
How about we start with a review of your decommissioning program? Delisted ships should not have that much ammunition still belted up.
Lena, now might not be the time for joking around.
That wasn't a joke. Right, sure. Everyone's tense because the bosses are fighting. This is probably a fine time for us to cede the deck for a little while, Commander.
Priority 1 is in safe hands.
Adjusting shot by .32. Fire.
Optimizing firing solution. Sustained incoming. Vector 1-6.
Solution updated. Target acquisition maintained.
We're gonna hammer the frakkins so they can't get back up.
Go, go, go!
Marks incoming on priority 1.
Intercepting! Get him, get him, get him! Reloading!
Come on, come on, come on.
Switching guns to manual.
Firing solution is online.
Helena Cain, Captain. Test flush network.
Set secondary battery. Full attack mode. Fire at will.
That got a little messy.
Clean up order received. Rally others.
Now that was a long old mission, a huge spectacular mission. I really enjoyed that. Took me a few goes, if I'm to be honest, about 3 goes to do that, just to make sure that I had all my angles covered from either side because the ships were attacking, and then of course the Cylons turned up for additional firepower and things like that. I've been Ricardo, this has been Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. Thanks for watching and check out for more videos in the series.